Great news. Your case has now entered the demand preparation phase of this journey. That means a couple different things. Hopefully, that means that you are doing better physically, mentally, and emotionally. You've received the medical care that you needed, and now you're at a point where it's time to demand that the insurance company or the at-fault party take care of this situation. However, if you're not doing better, it could also mean that you're at what's called maximum medical improvement, and you're as good as you're going to get. The bottom line is that this is a time for us, as your legal counsel, to cross all our T's and dot all our I's when it comes to your case. It's our time to prepare to present your story and your situation to the at-fault party in hopes of finding and meeting a resolution that's adequate for you and both parties. This demand phase marks a critical point for your personal injury claim. It's where we have the opportunity to prepare, understand, and organize all of the evidence that we've gathered on your case over the last several months and present that to the insurance companies. A demand package is made up of several different items. A demand package, sometimes referred to as a settlement opportunity package or brochure, is a comprehensive collection of documents that will outline the basis of your case and your story to the insurance company. It includes medical bills, documenting the costs incurred for each of your medical treatments, medical records, providing detailed account of your injuries, your treatment received, and your prognosis, your lost wages, if any, encountered as a result of your injuries, and any other relevant expenses that may be associated with your case. These can include out-of-pocket expenses, future medical care expenses, and things like that. But the most important thing when it comes to this demand package is you and your story. And that's the human cost, or what others refer to as the pain and suffering. And this is probably the most important part of the demand package, where we take the time to understand how your injuries have affected your life, and we tell that story. And that's where your role becomes very important. We need to understand from you how this has affected your life. Not just, simple examples, but the more detailed examples and stories of ways that your injuries have affected your life is really important to us, so that we understand the human cost of what you had to go through as a result of your injuries. One of the most significant parts of this demand package, as mentioned, is obtaining your medical records. This can take time, unfortunately, mainly because it's not just up to us when we do that work. We request your medical bills and records from your medical provider, and then we're at their mercy in terms of their timeline of getting those records to us. So sometimes that can be the longest portion of this demand preparation phase. But we try and make that as smooth as possible. We constantly call your medical providers. We do everything we can to speed up this process so that we have everything we need. And like I mentioned earlier, we've crossed all of our T's, dotted all of our I's, and now we're in a position to tell your story to the other side. Generally, when we send a demand settlement package or an opportunity for settlement to the other side, they're afforded 30 days to respond to our demand. Now, depending on how big that is, both in medical records and pages, as well as dollar amounts, that timeline can lengthen a little bit. But rest assured that we are doing all that we can to speed this process along and make sure that we're doing it in an expedient and appropriate manner. We're holding the other side accountable to ultimately take care of you as a result of this injury. Upon getting an offer from the insurance company, once a demand is sent, first and foremost, when we do that, if we demand a certain dollar amount from the insurance company, you will always be aware of that. Again, we work for you. It's our job to advise you and counsel you. So we will call you, discuss your demand package, discuss all the details of it, and then get your approval to send that out for a specific dollar amount. And in that conversation, also discuss with you what we think the fair value of your case is. And then once we send that out and we get a response back from the other side or the at-fault party, again, you'll be the first to know. We'll call and discuss that with you and formulate a plan forward in an effort to get the insurance company or the at-fault party to do what's right and to ultimately take care of you in terms of a resolution or a settlement. Again, this can be a daunting process, but the most important thing you need to remember is that you're not alone. You have us. We're on the same team. It's our job to get you the most money possible and make sure that all of your medical bills, all of your future medical care, anything that you need associated with this incident or this injury is taken care of. Some frequently asked questions that come up when you're in the demand preparation phase include, how long does the demand process normally take? Like I mentioned, generally speaking, the demand process can take several months. A lot of that is dependent upon getting the medical records and bills from the appropriate medical provider. So that can take some time. Again, we like to expedite the process and make it go as fast as possible, but we're at their mercy in terms of getting those records that are vital to your case. Once the insurance company or the at-fault party has your appropriate paperwork and the story and the demand that we've sent them, generally speaking, statutorily, they have 30 days to respond. Now, again, that doesn't always happen. Insurance companies don't always follow that, but we will always push, follow up, and make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that insurance companies are held responsible and that you're ultimately taken care of in a timely manner. So the big question we get asked as well is, what do we need from you? Well, generally speaking, when we get to this phase, we have everything from you that we need. However, those things can include updates or confirmation of all the medical providers that you saw from your case. And then a request for additional documentation from you if you have lost wages or things associated with finances and things like that. An important aspect of this is a list of witnesses, not witnesses that saw your crash or the incident that took place, but witnesses of you and how the injuries that you've been dealing with have affected your life. So a list of that witness information, friends, family, spouses, coworkers, neighbors, anybody that you think would be a good witness for you in terms of how your injuries have affected your life. We may ask for updated photographs or videos of injuries or scarring or things like that. And then the last thing is that personal statement from you helping us understand how your injuries affected your life. And when we talk about that, and your paralegal and your attorney team will walk you through that, we're looking for specific examples. We want to tell your story. We want to humanize your situation. And so we want to know real life examples of how your injuries have affected your life.